something.
They did.
But
Yeah.
she didn't know which school it was, what was the threat, why they did it, who did it. I was like, Mom, how you expect me to know? Well, you work in Newton? No, I don't. I ain't worked in Newton since September. And it was like, well, you got some friends. They ain't email you.
Yeah.
They ain't email come get your child. I'm like, my child in DC this weekend.
Yeah. Well, it's right now. It's just all we know is that Newton County High School had to be evacuated. Well, I don't think we know all the major details right now, just because I think they're still gathering information. But
Uh,
I do know that, thank God, no, from my understanding, as of right now, what I gathered was no one was hurt, no one was injured, but they did take the proper precaution to assume to pretty much make sure that these kids went home and they got home safely. Because even Miss Richard, she her daughter goes to Newton, so she was prepared at any moment to leave and go see about her baby. But once her daughter let her know that I'm good, I'm on the bus. Yeah, she was. You could see, she went from uh educator to mama. You could see the change. But
instantly.
once her daughter told her she was on a bus, then she was fine. So I think it's just more to come, more to find out. But definitely big shout out to the administration over there at Newton County High School, who took this seriously. And yeah, and all of our children were able to go home. That's just a scary day that we live in right now, where children leave and they go to school, but parents don't always know if their children are going home. So big shout out to Newton County High School for just making sure that the safety of these children was priority.
No
So
doubt.
big shout out.
No doubt, no doubt, man. That if y'all notice and paying attention, that red box has been on for about maybe 2 minutes now. So that means it is that time of the night, that time of the week. What's good, people? Y'all know who it is. This is the two-time ATL hottest DJ, the God DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. Well, my motto is simple: on the building. You are here for Wednesday night's dope show with the planning period. This is who we are. This is what we do. When you get us two together, it's the planning period.
You say Wednesday? Well, today's Thursday.
Today Thursday.
You definitely said Wednesday, but I think the audience knows that
It's
it's
Thursday
Thursday.
for real, man. This week has been a scramble. Not only
This
am I
week.
still adjusting to moving my days around, but I didn't go to work Tuesday, so
That's why you're off. See, yeah, I've been back at work since Monday.
I went
After,
Monday.
but yeah, it's been a
Tuesday,
week.
Tuesday, it was not happening though.
It has been a week. I
It
probably need a day tomorrow, but
it has
we'll
been one of the roughest 3 days I've had in the last for a while. And you know what's crazy? We just came back from spring break. It wasn't even supposed to be like this.
yeah, yeah. But I honestly might very well take the homie's advice, who's like, listen, you have had a week, take you a day, because I'm like my daddy and my mama. We work. We're just truly we have a great work ethic, and we just don't take off unless we have to. But tomorrow just might be a yeah. I'll see my babies Monday. They'll be okay.
I got some advice, some advice that I live by from a former Spanish teacher that we both know and love. Take them days.
You better absolutely.
Take them days.
Absolutely. And big shout outs to that guy who we are referencing, because yeah, absolutely. Because yeah,
That that elitist. We can't even call him a guy. He's an elitist.
right, very much so. Love them.
Mm. Yes, indeed. But yeah, this is still that time of the week. It is now Thursday night because it was Wednesday when I first thought about it.
What?
and,
It's Thursday.
and we are tuned here with the dope show. This is the weekly thing that I do for the last 2 years. That this year I'm saying that what, with the adjustments and the changes I made, it's time to bring one of these home for the dope show.
There
The
you
dope show.
go.
The
There
dope
you
show
go.
needs this. It needs this. As a matter of fact, they will need to look clean. Yeah. I need to hire somebody to polish my trophies. Who is that person?
uh, well, I have a 10-year-old, soon to be 10-year-old godson. He's expensive, but he would definitely make it shine. He's
Yeah,
expensive
nah.
though.
10-year-olds turn to 12-year-olds, and 12-year-olds each out of house and home.
That's very much accurate.
I know it. I'm recovering.
Got you.
So how's your week been?
Oh, it's been a week. It's been a week, just coming off of spring break, just taking care of just some personal business, but it has very well been a week. No, life is life, and sometimes life will definitely throw you curveballs. But what do you do? Do you complain, or do you just learn how to navigate through them? So that's just, hey, life is life. But if you are on this side of the earth, then you are doing okay. So we just, you deal with it as it comes. Understand that it very well could be worse. However, life is life.
Yeah, I had a professor, my psychology professor at Troy told me that she used to always had this one liner to say, when you get to the fork in the road, just take it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you never know. You never know. It could very well be either way it goes, it's a direction. It's up to you to figure out if it's the right direction or not. But that fork is necessary because one or two things is going to be the right direction, or it's going to be the right direction for potential feedback to put you on the right direction. But one thing it never is, it's never a loss.
No, you going somewhere.
Exactly, it's never a loss. Even if it's a circle, it's never a loss. Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
But
indeed, man.
but yeah, let's go ahead and kind of hop in there. Let's
Yeah,
talk about.
so really what we doing this week, y'all, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of something similar but different than what we do right here on the Dope Show. It's just we kind of just shotgunning topics tonight.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and we've had so many things to kind of transpire since the last time I've been on this side of the screen.
Hmm.
But well, first is before we start off, let's just go ahead and send all positive energy, all positive life, and everything to the mother of Miss Shankila Robinson, the young lady who unfortunately was out in Mexico celebrating, living life, doing things that a lot of young people just work hard to do. A lot of adults work hard to do it. And unfortunately, her life was taken from her. It came out that the federal, that pretty much the feds were not going to pursue any criminal charges against the people who we all feel and we all know they should go after. However, I think while they are navigating this, trying to figure this out, we still have to keep in mind that there is a mother, there's an entire family that now has to operate in what this is called a new normal, living on this side of the planet without Shankila. So while all this stuff is unraveling, we can have so many opinions here and there. Let's just stop and do what we need to do as a culture, sending her all the love, all the energy, all the prayers, all the love and light possible as she just learns what is to come next. Because what it sounds like to me is that pretty much America's taking their hands off of it and they're allowing this to fall in the jurisdiction of Mexico. And Mexico doesn't seem to be moving as fast as we would like. However, it's
Hmm.
just one of those things where, if the public can wait, but yeah, the family can wait, the public can hush. So we don't want to give too much of an opinion, but just acknowledge the fact that one of our own has to be hurting. So let's just go ahead, people. Let's make sure that when you lay it down for the night, think about that family because I can't imagine what that may feel like, what that must feel like for the mother. And be honest, nor would I want to.
Hmm.
However, as a village, as a culture, we have to do better making sure that we surround one another with love, with light, with positive energy. So let's sit into the Robinson family as they navigate these upcoming days to figure out what Mexico is going to do or what they're not going to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's the gamble right there. That pretty much if Mexico doesn't step up on this, it's almost like it didn't happen.
Absolutely. And and people have to understand, we're hoping that they will do something because I don't think people truly understand what a passport truly entails. Yes, it allows you to travel this world and see different sights and you know put your feet on different soil, different sand, see different bodies of water, it is beautiful. What it also does is those countries that you enter in with so much information that you have to submit in order to attain your passport. You can't have any like child support in arrears. You can't have a felony, things of that nature. It's so much information that needs to be provided, and you have to be on point to get it. And it's a reason behind that. So if you go to these different countries and you act the donkey, you fall under their jurisdiction. So,
Hmm.
yes, not only does the passport allow you to see the world, but it definitely allows you to be held accountable by that country. So let's just hope that Mexico does the right thing, because those young people need to be extradited back, and they have some questions. There's some questions that need their answers. And for goodness sake, the mother needs the truth. What happened to her child? Point period blank. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's looking rough. My biggest thing, and particularly take away from that, is just watch the company you keep.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna be honest, I've been to Mexico 3 different times, and yeah, this, I can't say, well, it's never happened to me because it's not a common occurrence. But at the same time, it's like definitely watch the people you be around. Even if you have to travel by yourself, do that shit. Take
that
yourself on
part.
vacation.
That
I'm
part.
I'm I'm not above it. I've done it before.
That
Probably gonna
part.
do it again. Probably gonna do it again soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nonetheless, take yourself on vacation, man. You ain't got to worry about because one of the things about pretty much traveling by yourself, going out to eat by yourself, you ain't got to worry about yourself doing you in.
Yeah.
Keep your head. I keep my head on the swivel, whether it's Mexico, LA, or Atlanta. I'm always on the swivel anyway. So it's one of those things to where I'm not gonna get caught up in a con because somebody's gonna come up to you with a game with a con. They're gonna tell you're out of towner. And you know what I'm saying? Particularly like places like Vegas, they gonna come up with the card game, and you can see somebody get beat for $50 right there on the spot. Like, see how easy that is,
Right.
dude. Y'all
Right.
been trading that same $50 bill back and forth all day, man. Nah, I ain't gotta be in no rush for $50. I got slow
Right.
money, but it's for show money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And if nothing else, if our young people who are listening, who have stayed attached to the case, if they haven't learned anything else from this unfortunate incident, it very well is. It very well should be. Watch the company that you keep,
Definitely watch the
and
company keep.
watch the company you keep, and don't be afraid to be a loner. Don't be afraid. You know, I
That
see.
because
I
you
see
see right
students.
here that whole push for acceptance, it get you killed.
Man, listen, I mean, I see so many students, well, we both do. And all it takes is for one particular kid not to be in school, one particular kid to be absent, whether they're not feeling good or something happened and they're just not in school. You could see some of their peers. Oh my gosh, to go to a different class. No one's in here. And of course, half the time I say stuff like, "Hey, it's okay to be individual," but so many of our young people, they just have to be a part of something that they negate being a part of themselves.
Yeah,
Rock this thing out solo dolo if you have to. But of course, we don't always want to deliver that message shortly after we did talk about that case, because it can come across very insensitive to the family, who is like, oh man, only if, what if. So just, if we're gonna take anything from it positively, definitely watch the company you keep. But yeah, again, to the Robinson family, you are in our thoughts, our prayers. You have our energy. You have the culture behind you. So we're just going to go ahead and do everything that we can do to ensure that Mexico is going to do their part, because that baby needs justice.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
something else came up that I found hilarious, when to throw past you. So of course, we know the one that you all call the genius, and again, Chicago girl. And not saying that I dislike him, I don't love him dearly, but I'm not the fan that everyone else is. But we're
Hey, wait a
talking
minute. Oh, we talking about Michael Jordan?
what negative. I'm very much the fan, but
Okay,
we're
hold on. I'm
talking
trying. I'm
about
trying to think of all the Chicago people I know.
we're
What about
talking
what about Carl Winslow? We talking about Carl Winslow?
You do know that that's his stage name and not necessarily his government. We're not talking
Carl
about
Winslow
Carl.
was real, wasn't he?
Negative. We're not talking about Carl Winslow. We are talking about the one that you all, many people refer to as one of the greatest, the genius, and he refers to himself as the Pied Piper of R&B. We are talking about none other than Robert R. Kelly. So information came out where it talked about the young lady, his girlfriend at the time, 16-year-old young lady, and it saw the text messages that surfaced between, hey Tina, Tina is online. We got to stop what we're doing anytime we see Tina show up. We got to give her love because if no one else is going to show up and say what's up, Tina is going to make her appearance. What's up, lady?
Going on, Tina. And then we got my LF in the building. I took my first solo trip for New Year's, and it was one of the best things I could have done for myself. I told you.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I am all for doing things by yourself because so many times, so many people just love to wait until this has transpired in their life. What if your birthday is like mine? What if your birthday is in March? And let's say if you're not scheduled in terms of your life journey, you're not scheduled to meet the one until August. What you gonna do? So you're not gonna just live life? No, live life, experience things. Go
What? There's a date on meeting the one.
Well, I said within this life's journey. I'm just saying. So let's say if that is supposed to be something that happens later on, you're still to live life. You can't just, oh, well, I won't do this because of this or that. Man, please go to concerts, go to dinner, take yourself out, travel, go
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the world because you
Mhm.
never know. The very person who you may need to run into may very well be in that airport taking them a solo dolo trip. You never know.
Or,
Just live life. But anyway,
or you just live life because life worth living.
life is definitely worth living. But there's nothing wrong with companionship. Nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean people are needy because they desire love or
you sound
relationships.
you
You
sound like
just
you
don't.
on the
No,
hunt.
far from it. No, 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 far from it. But there's nothing wrong with just saying that proper connection is healthy. Nothing wrong with it. But in the meantime, live your life. Live your life because I keep telling people from being single to in a relationship to marriage, it is not an elevation of the other. It is just the opposite side of the coin. So if you are only 75% as a single person, you're going to be 75% in that marriage. So 25% and you just so 25% is going to be lost somewhere. You got to live life. So anyway, we'll come back to that. But going back to these text messages that have surfaced. And I'll say this. I'll be the first one to say, and I'm gonna make sure that I say it slow because I can talk kind of fast. I believe Mr. Kelly is exactly where he is supposed to be. Point, period, blank. However, he should not be in there alone. That's it.
That was always my sentiment. But it was like, but he just had to
No,
do what he did. I was like, he
no.
was aided in doing what he
He
did.
exactly. So everyone who knew a young lady was underage, from the parents to the bodyguards to heck, what was Sparkle who brought her niece or whatever. I don't give a care. If you were involved in anything that had something to do with trafficking, with underage sexual whatever, you should be in a cell right next to him. It should kind of look like, remember the movie Blues Brothers? And
Yeah,
remember when every last one of them got arrested and they all ended up in jail and they had the whole band?
they
That's how
had the
that
whole bed in jail.
exactly. That's how that crap should look. He should be in it talking about feeling on your booty with his bodyguard in the back, with Sparkle in the back, talking about you better be careful what you say. She needs to be her butt in there too. So the problem is, yes, he did what he did, but he should not be in there by himself. Yes, yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Thank you. Then that other one out here who making
Y'all,
video, who
y'all trying to
making
get y'all trying to get the dope show banned this week. God
man,
damn.
man, all yeah,
I
all
mean,
I'm doing,
why you are well, as you like to say, I'm with you when you're right. However, you gotta
listen,
say these social media platforms is sensitive.
listen.
Y'all know I had to do 60 days at one time.
Well, we're
No,
gonna do everything that we can to kind of keep the dope show from being, in
nah,
timeout.
but you right though, and I don't censor myself nor my guests. So, but I am gonna talk this shit too. But nah, yeah, I didn't. You know what? I didn't want to speak on Andrea. I let a woman do it because if I say it, it's like she is black. You can't talk about a black woman like that. I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing. But a black woman just called you on your shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
there's another one. She black too.
yeah, because come on now. Now you want to sit up here and play victim, or you want to make all these videos. Like, why does anyone care that you know how to do this camel strut that she does? She has made several videos where she kind of resembles a camel and she's just walking and strutting. Why do we care? Or better yet, since you know how to walk like that, walk your way right into that jail cell right along with your husband. Because you were very much up. If you didn't speak up on it, you are guilty by association. It's no different from one person being in the car and having illegal substance on them, and there are two other people in the car with them. They are automatically guilty by association. Automatically. So
not
why
unless not
so
unless
why
you
is
go
she out and about doing her camel strut? I don't
bec-
understand.
because Gunner showed us the blueprint. You tell on the other guys in the car. Big shouts out to Gunner.
I guess.
Hey, you
But
know what? Is one of the things you said, like, why do we care about her camel strut? Camels got humps. We we like humps.
but but like I said, just looking at some of the messages that even where the mother was trying to, you know, coach her daughter into what to say, how to say it. For the since the beginning of time, we have had embryo holders. I can't say mothers because true mothers aren't pimping their children now. But we've had embryo holders and sperm donors who have joined forces to do whatever they can do to put a price tag on their offspring.
Yeah,
That's been going on since the beginning of time.
yeah.
I can't in good conscience call these people parents, but I would definitely say embryo holders and sperm donors. So that's what we have going on. You saw an opportunity to take advantage of a man who he himself needed counseling. He himself was victimized. So you took advantage of someone knowing that maybe this indeed was his besetting sin, but you saw a way to capitalize on it, even if it meant selling out your children. Get that mother, get that father, submit that phone for new evidence. They need to be in there right along with him.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when the documentary came out, and I caught a lot of heat for this, but I said what I had to goddamn say. Shit, it's my platform too. But everybody that came on that documentary that said anything post 2002, you knew what you was doing. 2000, see,
Absolutely.
because it had been rumored, but you remember, there's no social media between 92 and '02.
Right.
There's that's a 10-year gap. There's no social media. He kind of just out
Absolutely.
here running wild, having a good time within a confined circle. But when that VHS tape came out, that I made a remix and a soundtrack for and sold on the dorm steps,
Gotcha.
I mean, look, hey, I was trapping out of Howard Hall in Southern Poly. I was trapping. So, but nonetheless, we got evidence at that point. When that VHS tape came out, we got evidence. Somehow or another, he beat the case. Actually, he bought the case. He didn't beat it. He paid good money to pay for that case.
Right.
Bought it out, dropped the chocolate factory, and it was almost like all was forgiven. But why, oh why, after there is video evidence of how he get down, would you still put yourself in that situation? I call it nothing but greed. You thought Kels was gonna be a come up, whether it was
Exactly.
whether it was hoeing yourself or pimping out your child. You thought Kels was gonna be a come up, and all you got was a documentary. They didn't get paid for that documentary.
Right.
The producers did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, what do you right now, 2023? Let me back up. April
Thursday.
13th, Thursday, April 13th, 2023. What do you have to show for it?
Not a goddamn
When
thing.
when you decided that you were going to get whatever you were going to get from Mr. Kelly, what do you currently today have to show for it? Anyone who was around, from the bodyguards to the embryo holders and the sperm donors, to some of the other people, because I'm sure he wasn't the only one. He was the one that took the fall. What do you have to show for it? At least we can say that there are still so many fans that I can question all day long, but why would I? Because people have a right to love who they love. Let's just be real. But there are still so many fans, so many people on this earth right now that will still yell free kills, and they still have said they're going to play his music no matter what because he had music that they could vibe to that they love. He still has his talent. If he did a jailhouse concert right now, it probably would be sold the heck out.
I
So,
I just think that the warden and the promoters haven't quite gotten on one accord yet of how to split that pie.
because
But you
more
got
likely it's
but
coming.
you know it's coming.
It's coming. It's
He's going
coming.
he's going to do a redemption show, y'all.
Yeah.
He's gonna get up there and he's gonna sing gospel, and Kells is gonna throw it like he ain't never threw it before. And the warden and the promoter, I don't know, maybe Rock Nation needs to get on this. But I
But
don't know. I don't know
well
if
here's
there's like big name promoters that want to touch it because it's R. Kelly.
well here's the thing. I will be honest, I probably would not be in attendance. However,
Man, I
I
wouldn't be in attendance because it's in jail.
yeah,
But I will watch it on some streaming site.
I mean, it's one of those things where you can't help but to want to watch it.
Of
But
course. It's like
yeah,
America's favorite car accident.
going somewhere to crash and burn. Going
Mhm.
somewhere to crash and burn. But like we
Yeah.
said, he can at least still say he has his talent. He has his fan base. But everyone else, what do you have to show for what you did? I know I'm late tuning in. You know
that
what?
that is my brother cousin right there. What big shouts out to my boy DB. What's up with you, boy?
I love it.
Oh damn it. But because come on now, tell me if Kels dropped the concert right now on a streaming service, you wouldn't be watching, man.
I don't know too many people who wouldn't tune in. I'll be honest.
Let
I
me ask
don't
you
know.
this. Would you pay for it? They got the bootleg sites. Would you go ahead and put your, let's say if it was 9.99? Because with a million people times $10, Kels, they gonna get paid.
Well, you
Would
know what? I'm gonna say it like this. Shameless plug. I have a television service called G Stream. I get everything anyway. So no, what
that
I
ain't what I'm talking about. And quit snitching on the bootleg. Didn't we just talk about Gunna? Don't snitch.
all I said is
I'm
I
just
get
saying, would it
anything
be
anyway.
worth it to you to pay for it?
Um, if I'm gonna be honest, I probably would. Not even gonna lie. I
I,
probably would because
I know I
because
would.
I would probably want to see this sinking ship. Hold on, sinking ship. I would want to see that. But
What
again, like I
the
said,
shaking pip?
the Pippin sink. But yeah, I probably would. I'm not gonna lie. I probably
Yeah.
would. Or
And then
even
quit snitching
or,
on the plug too.
or even if it's one of those things where even if it's like a listening party where you have maybe one person buy it and everybody just kind of show up and hey, you bring chips, you bring
Oh
soda.
yeah, of course.
Let's
We
do this.
look, if R. Kelly had a concert, we doing that thing like Super Bowl. I'm talking about like, yo, we getting started at 6 o'clock. The wings gonna be hot.
Playing spades,
Oh
playing
yeah.
spades, throwing some dominoes,
They
everything.
said first day out should be the name of the tour. God damn it.
either
Not
either
the
first,
goo walk.
yeah, either first day out or it wouldn't be something,
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man. I
something
don't even know what y'all talking about. That wasn't even me, cuz.
right. But yeah, just going back to just things that are surfacing now, and it's like, come on now, we always knew that people were full of it, but he should make room. He should make room. So they went after him. Go after everybody that was around him because all he needs to do is scoot over. They should be coming. Point
Yeah,
period blank.
in theory. But hey, I kept telling y'all, he wasn't the only one.
Exactly. Speaking of not the only one. So let's talk real quick. The Dope Show is just dope for so many different reasons because this is not, yay, this is not a show. And we got to give it up to DJ Agony for his vision for this show. This is not a show where you're only going to get this, you're only going to get that, you're only going to get this or that. Anything that is going on in today's media within that impacts our culture, we're going to talk about. So while we're talking about it, let's just briefly go ahead and go just a little bit north, and let's talk about that state called Tennessee. Tennessee has been Tennessean for a long time, and what we're talking about is at their capital, which is Nashville, and how we had three legislators who were standing with the people surrounding stricter gun laws. Because why? People are tired of cutting on the television and they're seeing that it has been yet another school shooting. We're educators. So, our education and our coaching is a little bit different. I mean, we're parents as well, but we're educators. We're educators by profession. So, of course, everything from cold this, cold that, proper lockdown, we're getting a different lesson than maybe our teachers back in the day because it just wasn't as much. But it has just been massive school shootings for the last several years. So now let's go over to Nashville, where you have
I'm gonna be
the
honest, we didn't get that back in the day because where I grew up at, that was a white thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Keep going.
But it's still impacting, it's still very much impacting, our children. And it's
Oh no, no,
impact
no. It's no longer a white thing anymore.
it right. It no
Yeah.
longer is. It no longer
Yeah.
is. But we're looking at what happened in Nashville where there was a young lady whose life was taken. I mean, she's transgender, so therefore she identified as a man. However, this youngster, this young lady attended this school. So for those who don't know, a couple weeks ago, she actually made her way inside a school, took the lives of three students as well as three teachers. But what what hit me different about this particular case is, again, nothing has come out, but I instantly felt like there was a connection. The same way with the shooting in Uvalde, Texas, there was a
Uh-huh.
connection. But this one here seemed to be a connection where this young lady attended the school, and now, prior to her life being taken, shortly after her taking the lives of six innocent people, she was identified as transgender. Well, this was a Christian school, and it's not necessarily one of those things where it it wouldn't be unheard of if this school, maybe during the time that maybe she was starting to express herself, if they didn't shut her down, if
Oh,
maybe
sure
she
they did.
wasn't shunned, not accusing them of anything, because six people whose lives were taken should still very much be here, even including her. Seven people have lost their lives, and they should still very well be here. Well, let's talking about moving forward. You had, you know, you had people, you had the Justin and Justin. They stood firm and they stood with the people. And what Tennessee did was temporarily kick them out. So now
Out of where?
they kicked them out of, hold on. I don't, okay, I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. It wasn't Congress, but their state legislators.
Okay.
So they pretty much kicked them out of, and my words are
So it sounds like
missing me right now.
state Congress.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So they were booted out. Now, of course, it very well to the naked eye, and we all know it is. So we're not even gonna paint this fuzzy picture. It had, well, you had three people who were standing with the people. I forgot the young lady's name who was standing with them as well, but clearly she didn't look like them. She wasn't booted out, but the two men of color, Justin and Justin, very much were. So now that we fast forward and we look at the news that's kind of coming out now, is they have been reinstated, both of them. But
Hmm.
prior to that happening, we had someone that I definitely respect, love. I respect his craft, his comedic timing, and that was Ricky Smiley, who I believe, and again, people that you love and respect, you not always agree with. But Ricky Smiley said something to me that a lot of us think, but I don't know if I agree with it. So he was angry, and he had every right to be. So he was angry listening to what transpired in Tennessee. And the first thing that he called for was like a boycott of some kind. But what he called out was, if you had children who went to Tennessee State, historical Black College or University, if you had children who went to the school in Tennessee, what is it? Is it University of Tennessee with the
Hmm.
volunteers, or University of Tennessee,
Yeah, University
as,
of Tennessee.
as well as the professional teams in Tennessee? Be it what the Titans aren't playing right now, but the like the Memphis Grizzlies, and
Hmm.
so he called for the collegiate and professional teams to not suit up. He called for, if you have children who attend University of Tennessee or Tennessee State, pull them out. But but the question, but for me, why? Why should that automatically be the answer? Many of our young people, whether they look like us or they don't, college is not necessarily one of those things that a lot of our young people can attain without some type of scholarship. And if these young people are playing for the university, they very well may be on an athletic or even academic scholarship. So when something like this happens and we're calling for them to step down, understand that puts their scholarships in jeopardy. It's one thing to protest, but it puts how they're going to get their education, in jeopardy. You have these professional players, and if you say, they shouldn't suit up, we do know that although this is what we tune in for our entertainment, this is how these people feed their families. Many professional athletes are not coming from households like the Mannings, Jordan's children, LeBron's children, Odell Beckham's people. You are asking people to take a stand, and I'm all for boycotting. I'm all for taking the stand, but it has to make sense. How do we ask our young people who have worked hard to get into these schools to now boycott because something didn't quite go right? Tennessee has been Tennessean for years, the same way Mississippi been Mississippian, Alabama been Bamaing, and now Georgia is shifting and they kind of turn blue-ish, but there's still parts of Georgia that has been Georgia-ing.
Big shouts out to
So
Newton County. No mind, keep going.
exactly. But These things have been going on for years. And yes, it is definitely time for a change. But we have to, sometimes we have to just pause. Let's see what the next day brings, because we can't continue to ask people that we deem, well, you have more money than the average person, why don't you boycott? This is how they feed their families. Many of these people are first generation millionaire, so they have assumed the responsibility of so many people within their family. Immediate, next of kin, first generation, they have assumed the responsibility for their family's wealth. You can't just ask people to just boycott because this happened. Now, although I do understand where he was coming from. Now you have both of these gentlemen have been reinstated. What if some of those young people, because we got to be careful, this platform that we have, whether it is something where you have 10 viewers or you have 10 million, you have to be careful with what you put out in the atmosphere, because there are some people that have a following and people will listen to you, and just because it's you. But what if some of these young people took heed to what Mr. Smiley suggested? They could have very well jeopardized jeopardized what could potentially have been their livelihood. So we have to be very careful when we're asking people to take a stand. It has to look a certain way. Now, in my opinion, since we're talking about stricter gun laws, who seems to be impacted the most right now? Children and educators. So why not have educators form? I mean, we have so many different gripes about the state of education anyway, and the fact that there are so many people who don't truly understand what educators deal with on a day-to-day basis. I'm not saying that we need to boycott, but we need to come together to say this is what we are dealing with. You have when you see a child who is battling a level of mental health, but out of a school of, let's say, 1,500 young people, maybe in a traditional high school you have four counselors. How does that make sense? So we need to put some things in place that when we see that some of our young people are checking out, when we see that they're exhibiting certain qualities, we need to have things in place where, if this is not their least restrictive environment, we need to put them in a place where they can thrive, where they can get the help they need. So it's so much more than just, let's boycott, tell the Titans don't suit up. And the thing is, what the hell we do? And why are we just calling for our athletes? How many rappers have cussed their way into a mansion? These rappers sitting up here, be this, be that, slap you, kick you, and and don't get me wrong, we love hip hop, love it, 50 years, love it. However, we never call for anyone else to take a major stand aside from our athletes. Why? Why? It
It's
makes no sense.
it's a lot of layers to peel on that onion. First of all, like after listening to what you were saying, I should agree with Ricky Smiley. Here's why. When you look at a revolution, first thing that you gotta first thing that you gotta understand, and the reason why we have not had said revolution, it's gonna be a level of discomfort. It's gonna be a level
Okay.
of things that you gotta get used to not having, not being able to have. If we look at probably one of the most famous or infamous boycotts, of what you want to call it, Montgomery bus boycott. The bus was a convenience, and in 11 months of inconvenience, they got things changed.
I
See what
agree.
I'm saying? So, with that being said, now when we look at this, it said we're looking at a boycott. I want to make you do without something that's gonna benefit me, which is what a boycott is, correct?
Correct.
Okay, who holds more influence? I'll go ahead and just tell you, athletes and money.
Agree.
Athletes hold more money than your entertainers.
I
So
agree.
like nobody cares if Moneybag Yo says I'm gonna stop making music tomorrow. Nobody's gonna care if Yo Gotti says that. However, if Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies sit down right now, do you realize the money that would be affected to the city of Memphis?
I agree.
And
However,
so even going into that, when we look at the protest of the 50s and 60s, who was
mhm,
out there? You had one musician that was Sam Cooke. And but who else was out there? Jim Brown, athlete. Lou Alcindor, then known as Kareem, who became known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali. We talking about athletes. Athletes are the guys. Like they are the guys. Rappers want to be athletes. Rappers want to be athletes. Athletes got the girls. Athletes got that real bag because when you talk about that rapper bag, rappers ain't got no money.
it's it's it's
Rapper,
definitely
you know
it's
how
definitely not as wrong.
rappers got that bag because they did something besides
They do
rap.
something else.
They
Absolutely.
did something else. Athletes got that bag.
But here's the
Right
thing.
right now, Lamar Jackson is in a fight because of the difference of 166 million versus $200 million. What rapper is having that contract dispute right now?
Facts. But I will say you touched on something when you talked about like the Montgomery school, the Montgomery bus boycott. Why was that the reason? Why was that the avenue that they took boycotting the buses? Well, that's because that's when they had to start someplace,
Yeah,
and right, and that's where you saw a lot of the segregation, where blacks were not allowed to sit in the front, whites were, and even if the bus got full, blacks had to give up their seats for
oh yeah,
whites.
stand your black ass up. Yeah,
So they had to very much attack. They had to boycott the bus in order for things to kind of change. So
right.
here's my thing: if you have gun laws, if you're advocating for stricter gun laws because you're tired of what is going on mainly with these school shootings, help me understand, how do we bypass the Board of Education? How do we bypass the educators? How do we bypass all the personnel within the
Well,
school
well,
and
let me
immediately go to the athletes?
ask this question: when Ricky Smiley was calling for protests and boycotting, was it about the gun laws or was it about these gentlemen getting reinstated back in their jobs?
Well, it was mainly because you had three legislators from Tennessee that
Mm-hmm.
were standing with the people. One
Mm-hmm.
young lady who was Caucasian, and two young men of color, both first name Justin. So both of the Justins were very much kicked out. She wasn't, and she was doing the very thing that they were, which was standing with the people, wanting to make a change. So when that happened, it was an obvious slap in the face. So I don't disagree with Mr. Smiley saying that something needed to happen. I just didn't necessarily agree with, why are we targeting, why out of everything, why are we saying, parents, go to Tennessee State, snatch your kids out?
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, I understand the sentiment, but I wouldn't have came for the college kids. Here's why: because high schools put out what 1,300 every year, and there's over a million high schools in this country. So your college kids could easily be replaced, right?
True.
But if the Titans sat down, what they gonna do about Derrick Henry? About them people that buy season tickets to go see Derrick Henry?
I mean, don't get me wrong.
If
I
the Grizzlies sat down, what about them people? And it's playoff time too now. What
It
about the
is.
people that came to see J.A. Morant?
And don't get me wrong, I understand his anger. I love Ricky Smiley. I respect him. My heart definitely goes out to him, for his recent loss. But I will say that it's not just him. So many times when things happen, that seems to be we bypass that bam athletes. And I hear
That,
what you're saying.
but
Yes,
but that's why though, because athletes got real paper.
they do.
If we're talking about the black hierarchy now,
Okay.
we talking about the black hierarchy. Now there are some black entrepreneurs that are on top of the mountain. You know, so I remember growing up, LaVan Hawkins was like a big deal, because he owned Checkers and he had a jet. You know what I'm saying? So, but you got some black entrepreneurs that sit up top, and it's a real small number. That's why the top of the pyramid is real thin up there.
Absolutely.
But but
Everybody can't go to the top.
in the middle, you got them rappers. They ain't gonna be there long, so don't even get used to learning their names. But that big part of that pyramid of black hierarchy with that money and influence at the same time is athletes.
I hear you.
No
And
kid ever said I want to grow up to be like Jesse Jackson, but a whole generation said I wanted to be like Mike.
you right about that. People still want to be like Mike. People
I
are
still want
still
to be
are
like Mike.
people are still
I want
arguing.
some I want some Jumpman golf shoes.
Yeah, people are still arguing who's the
And
best,
I
who's
don't even
this, who's
play
that.
golf.
Well, actually, I play golf. I love this golf. But I hear
I
what
ain't
you're
got
saying.
the
Like I said,
patience.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't fully disagree. I just believe it needs. I believe it needs to be that man in the middle. It's almost like every time we want to make a stand, bam, we expect the athletes to do it. When guess what? They have families too. Like I said, unless you are coming from a family that had money because maybe dad played the sport, maybe grandpa played the sport, maybe you are third generation NBA player, NFL player, whatever. But that's not the likely. That's not average. That's not what many of our young men who are in these roles, many of them don't come from money. So again, they're first generation millionaire. Yes, they have the platform. Yes, they have the money until a knee goes out. Until something goes out. They already put their bodies on the line.
But
They
NBA got
already
guaranteed contracts. Grant Hill got rich for nothing.
But they already, here's the thing, they already put their bodies on the line. There is a microscope on them constantly. So now it's like, how much more do they have to endure? I'm not saying don't connect with a couple of them and say, hey, this is the agenda. This is what we need to push because we need some changes in these states. Tennessee. We need some changes in Mississippi. We need to see changes in Georgia. So most of our southern states that are still occupied by the good old boys, we need some changes. So this is what we need to do. But we can't always just say, oh, oh, they doing this, Grizzlies, sit down. Huh? And I understand.
You know what that's called? That'll be called rewriting the narrative. That guess what? The players really run the NBA, not even just the players, but the black players.
Let me ask you a question.
Hmm?
Is it rewriting the narrative or does it get to a certain point where, because to me, one of the worst tricks you can ever do when you're up against an enemy is for the enemy to know how you coming. And if they know that that's the card we're always going to play, they
But
can make adjustments.
when last time we played that card?
We
To
try.
to it was worth a damn. I'm
Well,
talking about played the card now.
here's the thing. We that was a
And,
card that
and don't give me Kaepernick because he was third string by then.
But let's understand that was a card that we very much threw out there, and there were many people because it showed it were many people who didn't tune in those first couple of weeks. And our biggest thing was I did it, and I love my football. I did it for a minute, and I was like, okay, Kaepernick, make a decision. But then once when it got to a place for me where I was like, wait a minute, people are calling you, and you don't want to back up, man. I'm gonna watch football, and that's kind of what happened. It wasn't that people didn't get behind him because keep in mind at first, for the first full year, 6 months to the first year, people thought it was a publicity stunt. They didn't think Kaepernick was truly putting his money where his mouth was.
I still don't.
So, you know, I do. I I believe it.
I
It
never do.
I didn't I didn't
We were
believe
talking
it
about the
initially.
Mannings and all them. Kaepernick did not come from that old I'm trying to get mom out the projects kind of situation. No, 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 no.
He
Kaepernick came from he didn't have a whole he didn't have Manning money, but he had a dollar.
he had a dollar, but you got to also understand too. Kaepernick came from an environment where a lot of the things that he was able to access was because so many people didn't believe he was black. One, he was adopted. So he was adopted and he's a fair skinned African American man. So they would see his parents and they didn't necessarily believe that, oh, oh, he one of them. It was that's one of the reasons why he grew his hair out. Because you actually had someone say, I didn't even know it was black. What
But
does that mean?
but you
As if
know
you
what? Kaepernick played on being biracial in the early part until him got mad, and then all of a sudden he's the other bi of the biracial, and now I'm black as hell. I'm Huey Newton. I'm like, are you really? Are you really? I never bought into it. One of the things about that whole switch up that they were trying to pull, where it was just like, well, we're just gonna not tune in. You got to think to really put a dent in the NFL. Who puts the dollars in the NFL's pockets? I give you a hint. It's not the fans. It's the sponsors. Budweiser never left. Doritos never left. Papa John's never left. I pay Verizon every month of that whole blackout, that whole boycott or whatever. So Verizon's still there. You have these corporate sponsors is what keeps the NFL checks coming. It keeps the NFL afloat. So what is that? No asses in the seats. The ones that are here, guess what? They're gonna pay twice as much next week, and
I
they're
agree.
gonna come. They're gonna come. The thing is, it's one of those things to where I really think with Ricky Smiley was mad. And when you get
He
mad,
was.
you get caught in the moment. And you liable to say anything. Ricky Smiley probably went back about a day later, maybe 2 days later, listen to him, was like, I get it. At the end, look at what happened. What, a week later, the brothers are reinstated. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Cooler heads always prevail. Huey P. Newton said this. Tupac co-signed it. Plan, plot, strategize. We don't just run out there like some mad niggas because we mad. No,
That part.
plan, plot, strategize. But I understand Ricky Smiley's sentiment. I appreciate the passion because nobody else is showing it nowadays.
Exactly. Oh, I agree.
I
I agree.
definitely appreciate it. It's just, brother, when you're mad, sit down and talk to somebody and plan, plot, strategize. Keep that same energy. And if you're feeling it tomorrow, and if you're feeling the same way the day after, or the day after, or the day after, put you a plan in order and start making it move. But when you just mad, don't start calling for heads the day you get mad because you ain't feel like that yesterday. But the same
Right.
problem existed yesterday.
Right. But like I said, which is why um I started off by saying I love Ricky Smiley, nothing but the utmost respect for him. Still sending my well wishes and condolences
Oh yeah.
for his loss. But I will say, and it's not that I'm picking on him because of course I wouldn't do that. It's just I've heard that so many times, and it's
Hmm.
almost like, well, good grief, why is it that every time we need to revolutionize and come together, it always has to be with the athletes? They're coming. I truly believe they're coming. But why? They already put their bodies on the line for our entertainment. How much more do we
They put
want
their
them to
bodies on the line
sacrifice?
for about an 8-figure salary as well. We
Yeah,
meanwhile we put our safety on the line for what, five?
if that.
It don't, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it don't even feel like it. that
Man, listen,
that net and that gross be a mother.
it's right at the way. Like, man, who is Net? And why he gotta get so much of my money? So
I think it's a she.
you think it's a she?
Net's a she.
Well, see, for me, it wouldn't be a she because I ain't giving no she none of my money.
Oh, she don't, but you don't give it to her. She take that.
Let me tell you.
That's how I know it's a she.
Let me tell you something. It ain't a she on this planet gonna take my bread. Now
Yeah,
I might give a quarter, but
yeah,
you ain't just gonna take it.
yeah,
So
two.
so so what we'll say is this. We'll say that it's a it because it kind of does what it wants to do.
God damn it. God damn it. Yo. Hey, look. God damn. And on
What's
that
it?
note,
It,
man. On that note, we gonna tie a bow on this issue of the planning period because we ain't got that much time. We still ain't went and made copies or nothing. And
man.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't even no lesson plan.
Man, and like I said, it has definitely been one of them weeks. So, we just keep in mind, just stay tuned because you're going to actually see these faces doing a couple more things. Like we got a dope interview we doing next week that we
Oh,
super
absolutely.
super super excited about. But like I said, but to people who have been following DJ Agony, I've even heard some people have even said was probably coming back. Well, guess what? I ain't going too far. So even if you don't see this face on the other side of the screen, just know I will be back. As Arnold says, I'll be back. Is that kind of funny? Or is that kind of lame? But I no, not okay. But like I said, just to kind of recap of what we talked about is continue for the family of Shankila Robinson. Let's keep
Mhm.
them lifted up.
Absolutely.
Definitely, we hit on the whole messages that are surfacing between R. Kelly and that mother and that daughter. We all know people should be in that cell right along with them. So let's just go ahead and cut the foolishness. And also, too, let's send as much positive energy up to the state of Tennessee because you have these brothers, and when you see them, they are so unorthodox, but they are young, they are hungry, and these brothers are taking a stand. So let's rally behind them because what happens in we have to, Mamie Till Mosley said this.
Hmm.
I remember her saying that she used to think about when she would hear about crime that would happen in the South. And she was very much in Chicago, lived a very good life, had one child, made really good money. And she felt like when she heard about crime in Mississippi, lynchings in Mississippi, she would used to say, that's a Southern thing. That's a down South thing until it hit her back porch. And the very baby that she almost died giving birth to was taken from her at the age of 14. Then she realized that this better be the business of us all. So just because this happened in Tennessee, even if you are in a part of the nation where you believe people know their places, this better be the business of us all. There is no reason why those two young men should have been made an example. So, what are we going to do to show the state of Tennessee and these other 49 states we are not going to be silenced. We are going to stand with our people. And if you silence them, you're silencing us all.
Yeah.
So this better be the business of us all. This wasn't just a Nashville thing, wasn't just a Tennessee thing. This was for the culture. And they took a hit. Yeah, a week later they're reinstated, but still. Now, are you going to publicly come forth and just say that cooler heads needed to prevail? Are you going to reinstate them with the same? Or are you going to apologize at the level of the
Hell
apology should be? That apology should be as loud as that disrespect was.
no.
Are
But is it ever?
Of course it's never.
Exactly. So no, no,
but
no. Just to
but
be glad
it
these
but
brothers got their position back, and they in a position to where they could really make some noise.
absolutely. But speaking
Absolutely.
but speaking of noise, our great people, our great people in agony. I actually have to step out a little bit. Hey, we fully transparent. Miss Parker had car issues today, so I got my mechanic who's outside right now. So I have to go ahead and call this a night. Love you all. We'll be back next week, and that's pretty much what I'm bringing to the table today. So again, please accept my apology. Things happen. So I do gotta turn my attention to being back mobile because I
Yeah.
gotta go to work.
Right. So I mean, yeah, and there's no need to apologize, man. Like you said, stuff happens. Plus, I need you to get that car fixed because I need to ride across the street.
No.
You know what? That why I don't fool with them folk, man.
Well, man, now you know don't nobody else got you. I got you. So, but
No
but
doubt.
yeah, But yeah, so you all enjoy your evening. I gotta go ahead and leave the studio. But Agony, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this little button where it says X. But please go ahead and let the people know to tune in next week
Oh, absolutely.
because we got a dope interview coming up on the Dope Show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So handle your business and we'll be in touch.
All right, love you all. Peace out.
Peace. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Yo, I ain't going nowhere just yet. Y'all stick around for a little minute. I'm gonna go ahead and recap some things and then set up for next week, and then we getting up out of here too. But appreciate everybody that came through and tuned in tonight for the dope show. I did want to go back through those last couple of comments from my LF. She said Ricky Smiley is about that life, very much about shaking up the system and being an advocate for what's right. Love him, listen to him daily. I don't think I got the enemy to listen to him daily because it's just not funny. But at the same time, I can listen to it for the social side of it though. And I get it. I get it. I get it. Um, who knows how much of that Ricky Smiley seen growing up in Alabama to where it's in him, you know what I'm saying? Um, so that's real. That's real though. Tina said, you got these good old boys with all the money paying all these black kids educations and careers. They the ones holding the ball and can let them go with the snap of a finger. That is true. That is true. So you don't go get the third string athlete to be the one to stand up for you. No, 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 no. You get the one that's making everybody in the arena rich. From the dude that's taking up the money in the parking lot, the dude that's at the nacho cart. It's everybody loves a nacho cart. To the GM, the vice president of that organization, you take out one piece, it's hard to replace it in certain situations. Like I said, they lose John Morant. Who they got? They maintained enough because we knew John Morant was going to do that 8-day suspension and come back. But who do they really have if he decide he just want to quit basketball tomorrow? I don't know. I think it's all about just being able to flex that influence in a way. Don't flex it to where you get in the club for free, you get in free bottles, and you get to go to the VIP room and throw 20 grand. That's not flexing. That shit's fucking goofy, to be honest. Flex in a sense to where you know what? There's a brother right now doing 15 years for a crime he didn't commit, and the state doesn't want to open it up. That's when you flex. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely understand both sides of that coin. Totally agree. It was a good discussion tonight with Miss Parker. Appreciate everybody for coming through. From my big cousin brother came through here. You know what I'm saying? Tina, LF, my loyal dope fans. You know what I'm saying? Definitely appreciate y'all for coming through, man. Let's because if nobody else, if it's just three of us in here, it's gonna be me, Tina, and my LF, and I'm okay with that. I'm finna go to the store. Y'all want something back? Y'all want something back from the store? Don't tell nobody I'm bringing nothing though. You gotta come to the car and get yours. You know what I'm saying? Um, appreciate y'all for coming through though. Next week we got did she say is that gas? Oh, I, I'm looking at the little boxes like that big. I'm like, yo, is that gas? I'm like, yo, that just went left quick. But next week, Andrew Snorton, author, entrepreneur, media specialist, broadcast. The dude do everything, man. Like he do a little bit of everything, but he is gonna be here to next Thursday representing Alphas of Atlanta, and we talking about Alpha Derby weekend is going down that weekend, and Dope will be back in the building again. So big shouts out to Andrew Snort and big shouts out to Alphas of Atlanta. I can't wait to get that interview. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be here next week, chop it up with us. Also, next week's gonna be 420. That don't mean a whole lot to me. I was just shouting it out just because. So definitely, y'all definitely want to tune in next Thursday, next Tuesday for the quick 30. I don't damn know. It ain't happened yet. I don't know. Like, and I'm telling you, it's hard to plan for the quick 30 now that I don't switch my days up, but there should be a quick 30 next week. If there isn't, then you'll definitely see me Thursday. That's all I really got for you. Keep an eye out for me and Larry Hodges, aka Kid Dynamite, with this thing of ours. Also, the planning period with me and Miss Parker, Gamers Alley, me, Real J Scott, Big Country 50. You know what I'm saying? Like Dope's having so many it's the subgroups that are coming underneath the dope umbrella that I'm really enjoying right now, to where it's like Miss Parker said earlier, I don't have to be pigeonholed into one thing. I can and often do show my versatility. I'm more than just one thing. I'm more than just a DJ. I'm more than just a teacher. I'm more than just that dude from Flat Shows and Gresham. Like I do a lot of stuff. And I have fun at what I do. I love what I do. So definitely, man. It come through, enjoy yourself, kick it. And if y'all have not, reach down there in the bottom in that corner. I think it's the right corner of what y'all watching right now, and hit that share button. Let these people know the good dope that y'all got going on every week. Like this ain't the kind of dope you can hide. Like regular drugs, okay, you don't tell everybody about that. But this dope, you can share this with everybody. There's plenty to go around, I promise you. So definitely, man. Like I said, appreciate Miss Parker for coming through and just dropping the 0100s on us to keep us informed of what's going on in our world right now, because it's a mess, man. One of my favorite songs, and it's become more and more true as I've gotten older, is War. The world is a ghetto. The whole world, man. It is it's rough, man. It's sad. Um but I appreciate my loyal fans. I appreciate loyal fans. I appreciate new fans. I appreciate anybody that says they're a fan. Dope shirts will be coming soon. I'm working on some things, but y'all gonna have some shirts, man. And if you got one, just know you got one because you were selected to get one. I ain't just these ain't for everybody. As Ho said, it ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So dope shirts will be coming soon. Rock that. Let your people know. Like, hey, I got a good product. I got good dope right now. Don't say that too loud because then police gonna be on your shit and got a whole nother set of circumstances. So definitely tune in next Thursday for the quick 30, depending. Next Thursday, most definitely for the dope show with Andrew Snorton representing the Alphas of Atlanta. And just tune in to anything, just keep your ear to the street. Any and everything I got going on, I share it with y'all first. You know what I'm saying? So just stay tuned to that. Before I log off, I like to give a RIP to Jarrell Andrews. Um, as a beautiful spirit, and he has definitely gone too soon. So big RIP to Jarrell Andrews, man. As I end this show, like I end every show, imitation is a sincere form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony. I am dope. My shirt says, "Don't quit, just do it." And we out. Peace.